And here we go. We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be nominal.
RCPA chamber pressure looks good.
Doubling up. Roger, roll, Atlantis.
Water towers fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Sliding down to SC off. Bring in SC off. It's orange!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage. Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
The methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You dead? We don't need any more of these.
Hello, good morning, good evening, wherever you are around the world, and welcome to Starbase, Texas, where SpaceX is preparing to test Booster 14. Booster 14 is recently rolled out to the launch site and will be used on Starship Flight 7. So as we get into today's testing, of course we here at NSF have gone live. So if you have any questions about today's testing or Flight 7 or whatever, at NASASpaceflight in chat, and we'll see your questions pop up in some software we have running in the background. I'm Jack Beyer for NSF, and I'm excited to get the vehicles for Flight 7 checked out. Also joining on commentary today, we have a special treat. It's the one, the only founder, NASASpaceflight himself, the Burgonator. Chris, how are you doing?
It's not a special treat. We're low on commentary. We need someone to help out, so I'll pop on.
Yes, it's a special treat. Come on. It's a special treat. Chat loves you. We all love you. Every time you're on stream, it's a joy. So we are here to talk about Space Shuttle and horses. No. I mean, sorry, Booster 14 and Flight 7.
Okay, yeah. Well, I kind of like the idea of shuttle and horses, but there we go. We'll talk about Booster 14. Yeah, we're hoping we're going to see up to potentially a spin prime test today. It's always SpaceX. You never know. So you never go out and make it a statement, but looks like we're going to get some good testing of Booster 14 for Flight 7. It doesn't seem that long ago since it was Flight 6, so it's getting exciting again.
Utterly bonkies. Also joining us on commentary today, we have Webby. Ryan Weber, how you doing, bud?
Fantastic. Ready to see some booster testing. Flight 7, let's go. Or maybe not Booster 14, but the Flight 7 booster, because SpaceX utterly refuses to acknowledge the vehicle numbers these days. So, you know.
I mean, I was thinking actually just last night that it's going to start getting hard to keep track of the numbers at some point. Like with Falcon 9s, some people keep track of the booster numbers. Eventually, I feel like Starship and Super Heavy will get there as well, where yep, it's just they're launching another one. But obviously we here will keep doing our thing and keep tracking the nitty-gritty details. Also, operating today's stream, I don't want to forget, we have, well, now I don't know who to say, because both Kevin and Jay are in comms. So Kevin and or Jay are operating the stream today, or both of them, so thank you to them. Kevin shows his information in the top right, so there you go. It was him. Mystery solved.
It's me.
It's Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Jack.
Hey.
Somebody.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead.
Kevin. Can we get a cloud report? Yeah, I had to do it.
Oh,
Lovely.
that didn't go to stream.
Oh,
It's getting very cloudy.
There we go.
there it goes.
Chad is now happy. All right. Well, so where are we at in the testing flow today? Roads closed. No evac notice, so we're not expecting fire, right? Like Ryan, give us the cloud reporter. Nice. Give us a play-by-play.
Road is closed. They're spooling up tank farm. Only the boosters on the pad. No OP notice, and there's still scaffolding on the OLM. So the two possibilities I can think of is either a partial tanking test or a spin prime at this point. That's kind of what we're looking at right now, and with the OLM vent starting, what was it, 5-10 minutes ago, we should be into prop load in about half hour, 35 minutes, give or take, somewhere around that range. So we'll have to watch and wait here. Sometimes SpaceX gets a little faster with some of these things or whatnot, but, maybe we get a prop load by, 11:20, give or take. 11:15, 11:20.
Excellent. And that will be evidenced by the OLM vent there stopping, so we'll keep our eyes on that. Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
I might have missed it on the Raptor sides that you do on Starbase Live because I've been traveling for Thanksgiving and all the last week. But have you on any of our streams just given a general reaction to the Isaacman nom?
Yes, I think it was the last Raptor side, wasn't it? Ryan, you were probably on with it, on with me on it. Yeah, we basically turned a Raptor side into a worshipping session because, I'm not going to hold back and try and be the objective journalist. Well, there's good things and there's bad things. Now I went, it's brilliant. This is amazing. It's the best thing ever. I'm very happy. This is super exciting. I actually mentioned that when I think it was Ryan Caton did one of his breaking news tweets, and he mentioned True Social. I'm not too up on that. I can't keep up with all these new social accounts or what have you. I was thinking this is a joke. Someone's done a joke account pretending the president-elect is saying Jared Isaacman is going to be new NASA administrator. I thought, why is he tweeting it? If it's a joke, why are you tweeting it, Ryan? We can't do that. You're representing us. And then I realised it was real. I was like, oh my goodness. And then it all started to make sense. I can't believe I hadn't thought that was potentially a route they could have taken before they took it. And then I just got really excited because I thought, well, wow, okay, we could have got some unknown political suit who's some party loyalist who's never seen a rocket launch in his life become NASA administrator. We've seen it before. And we didn't. We've got probably the most amazing, iconic person involved in human spaceflight right now. Who's now going to lead NASA. So, yeah, I didn't hold back. I turned into a massive fanboy, and I don't care because I am.
Well, if you want to re-listen to that Raptor side, I mean, obviously they're on Starbase Live, so you can listen to them live when they're done, typically twice a week around 2 p.m. Central. But if you're a member, fun fact, you get access to the Raptor sides because we do upload them. So if you want to listen to Chris fanboying out, that does exist on our channel.
It does. Yeah.
No, but if anybody watched the Flame Trench yesterday, it's an announcement that made me very happy, and so that's why right off the bat here, Chris, I wanted to just weigh in with you on that a little bit. So thank you. Really quickly, I do want to thank, speaking of people with memberships, Brianna Matthews just gifted 5 Red Team memberships, and Joshua Garvey also just gifted 5 Red Team memberships. So thank you to both of you. James Scheid with a $5 super chat. They say, would listen to Raptor Side Horse Chat with NASASpaceflight Actual. I mean, sometimes it does turn into that, right?
Yeah, I do like to bring up the occasional horse fact. I'll bring up a horse fact for everyone in chat right now. Horses don't breathe through their mouths. They only breathe through their noses. They only use their mouths for food. Thank you. Carry on.
They're not mouth breathers.
They're not mouth breathers, no.
Phil, thank you for the super chat. They say, KMR Bed Fund. Yo, all. Yo, Phil. All right, let's talk about today's test. So, Ryan, you said that RC Horseman in chat says horses can't vomit. What?
No, they can vomit because they use their mouth for food. It's just that the way that horses can breathe and eat at the same time continuously is they breathe through their noses only, and they only use their mouths for food.
I mean, all I want to do is go down the
just another rabbit hole.
Horse rabbit hole.
Just go into a pasture and start holding the noses of horses and saying, "What are you going to do now?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, let's talk about today's test. Ryan, Supersonic Retro Propulsion is asking, what is the difference between a pre-burner test and a spin prime test? So we don't know what today's test is. We know it's not going to be a static fire based on various indications that we mentioned. Not expecting a static fire, so some kind of tanking test, maybe up to a spin prime. Supersonic Retro Propulsion is asking, what is the difference between a pre-burner and a spin prime?
Basically, a spin prime is they just They just use well, pretty sure it's either helium or maybe even nitrogen, but they'll use a gas to spin up the turbopumps, and they'll just kind of pull locks and maybe just pull locks through the main turbopump. They don't really do much with the methane one because you don't want to pull a bunch of locks and a bunch of methane through both. You might get a thing like what happened with Booster 7 if you do something like that.
Hose.
Yeah, right.
White hose, never forget.
But basically, they just kind of spin up the pumps and they just push a bunch of locks through. Now, a pre-burner is where they put both through the pumps along with lighting the pre-burners off. They just don't put enough through that it'll actually ignite in the main combustion chamber and then of course ignite the engine. So it's basically what it is. Yeah.
Like a spin prime is more like I guess like a sneeze, and a pre-burner is more like a shall we say a dirtier sneeze? I immediately regretted this analogy as soon as the analogy hesitation there was me hating it as I said it. Go ahead.
So one of the analogies I have, and though it doesn't really equate to a pre-burner, it's more of a static fire itself, but a spin prime is the same thing as like a dry motor on a jet engine, which all you do with that is you spin up the starter, which spins the engine. You don't inject fuel, you don't fire the igniters or anything. All it is you're dry motoring the engine. Yeah, you're just spinning the compressor and that's it. Then a static fire is akin to lighting it off and getting it to idle. There really isn't anything. And a pre-burner is kind of in the middle where you light it, but you're not actually... You're lighting the turbo machinery, but not the main combustion chamber. Basically is what it is. Yeah.
Turbo machinery is the coolest word. Maybe even cooler than supersonic retro propulsion, who asked that question, which was a good one. Let's do some more questions. This one, I'm going to ask Chris this one because I'm curious as to your answer, Chris. Wartaz is asking, which is the cooler or more interesting moon, Europa or Titan?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, they're both very interesting. I think Europa, just because it's been a subject of interest quite a lot over the years, whereas Titan hasn't, but that kind of might mean Titan is more intriguing because we know little about it. There's been enough spacecraft taking enough photographs, but this upcoming mission with Europa Clipper is fascinating. I mean, it really is going to get a lot more data. And also, Europa goes back into, and Ryan will appreciate this, my sci-fi mode, because remember, you're not allowed to land there. All these moons, all these planets are yours, all these worlds are yours, but do not land on Europa.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Classic. Didn't he like give NASA permission to land on Europa at some point? I feel like there's a cheeky like side on to that.
I can't remember. I'm gonna have to do some googling when I come off.
Yeah. Ryan, what do you think? Europa or Titan?
I think Titan is really, really cool. Like it is. I mean, like what, liquid methane lakes or something along those lines, and the thick atmosphere it has. Like that's really, and what we're sending there is arguably cool. Europa Clipper is cool, but nuclear powered helicopter, come on, I can't. It's hard to beat that one. But overall, the planet, I think Europa is cooler because who knows what's in that ocean? Like seriously, there could be life down there.
It is like pretty tantalizing of a thing to think about, the massive ocean underneath the ice crust on Europa. Although Titan is really cool to me too. Like you said, methane lakes. Like Titan to me is like in 100 years, it's like the refinery planet. It's like the gas station planet or not planet, moon. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. Where will we be in 100 years? It's fun to think about. John Cook is asking, what are you looking forward to seeing most on Flight 7? Notice how I'm just automatically parsing IFT7 into Flight 7 as we go here, like live. Hooray, brains. What are we most looking forward to on Starship Flight 7? Chris, go first.
I want to see a nice clean repeat of Flight 6, but this time with the booster coming back again like Flight 5.
Right.
And a very nice, again, ship landing in the ocean. Because if they get another clean ship landing, that opens out to what Elon has promised us, or suggested at the very least, that they will go for a catch on Flight 8 with the chopsticks. And that's where things really, I mean, that comes a lot sooner than I ever thought it would do. I didn't think they'd go for a ship catch until about 12 or 13, maybe something like that. Maybe I was being pessimistic, but that's what I was thinking.
No,
so if they can go for it with Flight 8, that'll be amazing. So I want to see a nice clean mission. Nothing too fancy. I'm not looking for anything, like extra objectives, although SpaceX will probably go for it knowing them. Just nice clean flight, bring the booster back, get a booster catch again, prove they can do it again, because doing it again will be very good data points in itself, that they may have refined it slightly to improve the return to the chopsticks, and have a nice clean ocean landing for a ship, and then go for the catch on the next flight.
Yeah, I mean, that is a way better answer than mine. I was just going to say I want to see a catch. I want to see another booster catch.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I have nothing to add. Ryan, anything?
For me, yeah, I would like a repeat of like Flight 5 and 6, but with a catch of Booster 14. The biggest thing for me is re-entry and how the new flap design holds up, or just how 33 holds up as a whole. Considering it's Block 2 now, so there's a ton of refinements in it. They'll probably do a payload bay door test because it's a reinforced payload bay door. There's a lot of little things that they're gonna they'll probably test on this flight, and I can't wait to see reentry with the upgrade. I mean, the heat shield it's similar to 30 because they added that secondary layer, but there's also a lot of changes with the smaller tiles around areas. Like there's far more pin tiles than there are adhesive tiles. Like I cannot wait to see this thing go through reentry. And we might be getting close to stage 1 here on the methane subcoolers. So they're starting to spool up here. We'll see if they go a little bit more ham soon. Maybe we get into methane prop load soon.
Excellent.
Keep an eye on it.
Yeah, Flight 7 is going to be a treat, however you slice it. Chris, I'm excited for a ship catch just because I'm excited for a ship sonic boom. It's going to give me shuttle vibes all over again. I mean, booster sonic boom was amazing, but something about I don't know, can I call Starship winged? Winged vehicle coming in with tiles, and I mean, I wonder if is it even possible for a ship sonic boom coming in from orbit to be louder than a booster sonic boom coming in from launching a ship? Either way, I'm excited for it.
Our examples are, if you go on YouTube, there's many a video of people filming from home, from like over 100 miles away, of a shuttle re-entry. There's one video, I'll try and find it and link it in chat. There's one video where he's got his cat next to a patio window door. He's about 100 miles away. He's watching the shuttle coming back on the TV. But also then his cats go running like crazy because it absolutely shakes his patio's doors when the sonic boom comes in. Now remember, the shuttle was coming back with a less wing area or body area than a Starship. The Starship is larger. So that's going to be fascinating to see what kind of sonic boom that will be for a returning ship. The difference is, with a ship, it's going to come down and do a belly flop, whereas the space shuttle was coming back in at an angle. So there may be a difference there. I don't know. It's something for the BYU people to maybe talk about because they like their sonic booms, don't they?
I'm so excited for the science that they're going to be able to do once we get a ship catch. I guess, just like sort of gaming it out in my head, probably nothing will be louder than a super heavy sonic boom because the super heavy is coming in so fast and it's going so fast, so low by the time it finally starts braking, whereas a Starship is going to be scrubbing off a lot. I mean, that's the whole point of the belly flop, right? Like you scrub off a lot of velocity, you have to use less fuel for landing. So it's not going to be coming in that hot in theory. I'm just thinking back to the low altitude test days where oh god, I cannot wait to see a Starship belly flopping again in person.
Yep. I mean, speaking of the hop days. We are 2 days away. Monday will be the 4th anniversary of SN8's flight. So, I mean, it's been 4 years since they first flew a 12 and a half kilometer hop with a nose cone and flap ship.
It's so wild to think about. 4 years?
Yeah.
Where did the years go? Okay, to put it into perspective, SN8 was the very first Starship program test thing that I personally set remote cameras at, because we had just gotten our North Beach property for Starbase Live, and that was the first one that we got. And it was like right after we got it, SN8 was happening, and so like my very first remote photo of a Starship launch or anything is of SN8 launching. And wow, four you're telling me that was 4 years ago?
December 9th of 2020.
Oh my god, you're right. It's a different life. It was a different time. Methane, go ahead.
It's nuts, you know?
Yeah. Methane Subcooler, thank you for the super chat. They say, just want to give a shout out to Chris for giving the best customer support in the shop. Thank you, NSF, for everything. Y'all, when you are messaging the shop support, you're messaging Crispy. Like, I don't know if I should be that explicit with it, because I don't want people to harass Crispy, but like, don't take advantage of it. Don't take advantage of it. Like, I tell people to send Adrian spiders. Like, only give Crispy love. But yes, Chris, you do diligently take care of the store, and thank you for that.
Well, it's important. I mean, it's something where people are supporting. One of the best ways of supporting is the store, because I say that not necessarily from a financial standpoint, but because I like the idea of you supporting us, getting something cool in the purse at the same time for your support. That's why I like that store route. But the least I can do is, if someone's got, like, they're not sure when an order's come in or whatever, I can do some little tracking tests where I can just check it and then pass on the details. And it's nice that it's not some AI chatbot that most places use, that I can actually answer it myself. I will say, because it's the biggest thing people ask. Oh god.
There you go. OLM vent shut off.
Right, I'm going to finish this round because it's important. Right, is if you get if you're wondering where your flight 6 patches are, remember when you ordered it, had a big red letters on it saying it's pre-order. They are arriving into Texas as we speak, so we're expecting any day, potentially Monday, don't hold me to that they will then be in the warehouse, and that's when they can actually ship to customers, and it will be like almost all of them in one day. They're really fast at shipping them. So if you're a little bit confused, you might have missed it when you ordered it, and you're wondering what a Flight 6 patch is, Shopify actually gave a false shipping date. That's why a lot of people are confused. The best thing you can do is just send me an email if you're not too sure. I will literally tell you what the process is. But if you're on here and you're wondering, don't worry, it's any day now they'll start shipping. It was pre-order, it's still technically pre-order, but it won't be pre-order as in probably next week. So they are going to get shipped out soon. Thank you, Ryan. Carry on.
But
all right, OLM vent has stopped. Hooray.
Yeah. So we should be into prop load here. Well, it'll for a tanking test, and it looks like the methane subcoolers are going pretty hard right now. So for a tanking test, I would expect a decent amount of methane to be loaded on board, probably a couple rings worth, and then several rings of locks. If they end up doing a spin prime, I would not expect a lot of methane to be loaded. They usually only load exactly what they need for a test like that, because why load more methane than you need to? It's just loading more hazardous material, so.
Right. Yeah, makes sense. All right, well, so now we'll keep our eyes out for some frost on the booster. Hooray. I like testing. This really sort of drives home the idea that the cadence for Starship is only going to increase from here. And a launch, I think, of Flight 7 in January is completely plausible and on the table. Would you agree, Chris?
Yeah, I really do, and I find that fascinating because this is what they need to do. I'm the last person to say schedule pressure is a good idea. It's not. I'm too shuttled from saying shuttle pressure is a good idea. Schedule pressure is a good idea.
Right.
It's not. But they're putting that pressure on themselves because this is the kind of cadence they want to achieve. They're talking about 25 flights next year, which is not going to happen. But they're going to get a lot of flights next year, and that's what they've got to do. They've got, hey, look, where you seeing the frost line?
I was gonna say I'm about to do another Chris interrupt. We got a frost line on the methane tank. So
There we go. But yeah, I was to answer the question. I was not too surprised, but very encouraged to see that January is looking very likely now. And yeah, I mean, next year's gonna be fascinating.
And
really
looks like
is.
frost forming on the LOX tank as well. So we are well into prop load for whatever SpaceX has planned for us today. We're at their mercy. For whatever they want to do.
Bideford gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Thank you, Bideford. Glad to have you back. Ramraj with a super chat. Thank you so much. Blood Wolf 97. Thank you for the super chat. They say on Flight 8, if they attempt to ship catch, will they be able to catch boosters in ship, or will they discard the booster in the Gulf and only catch ship? I see this question pop up a lot. In fact, I have a couple of them already in our queue here to talk about. But I don't think expending the booster is I'm not worried about the ship catch interfering with a caught booster. For one, the ship presumably is going to do at least one full orbit, which takes 90 minutes? For two, a single orbit doesn't put you over the same point on Earth again once you get all the way around, because the Earth is rotated underneath you. So there's you have to phase, you have to orbit a number of times until the spot you're getting is back underneath you. So all that is to say, there will be plenty of time, on the order of hours, to set the booster back down onto a transport stand, maybe even move it away, and then have the ship come in and land. The ship isn't going to land like the booster 7 minutes into flight. No, it's going to be at least 90 minutes and probably more. That's my response to this. So I don't know who wants to jump on that one.
I'll take it. I think for some of the last Block 1 boosters, if they know they're going to have a Block 2 ready to go and Pad B is starting to get ready to go, and they don't want to reuse them, then there's the possibility they dunk the booster in the Gulf, and because if they're not planning on reusing it or looking at it, or they don't want to even try a catch again, they might dunk it. That would be, I could see why they would do it, but and then Flight 8 catching there's chine venting, so CO2 loading. Then that's we'll see if they try to catch on Flight 8, because if this stays suborbital, which a lot of things are indicating that it will, that means that they want to go to orbit and come back and come back over Mexico and Texas and catch all in the same flight on the first try. Regulatory speaking, have fun. That's going to take a bit to get approved, to say the least. But if they can prove that they can control 33 on the way in, then, maybe the FAA will sign off on it. But the other caveat to that is they need catch hardware, and we don't know if they have any yet.
That's true. We do need to see catch hardware on a ship. Another one of those puzzle pieces we have to keep our eyes out for down here. Speaking of having to have ship in orbit so that it can get over the right spot on Earth again, hey, that gives me shuttle vibes. In fact, isn't that why shuttle had such gigantic wings, Chris?
Yep, cross-range. Cross-range capability was something the US Air Force demanded to be a customer of the Space Shuttle, and a very big customer of the Space Shuttle. And thus, the design was yes, whatever you want. And that is why they had cross-range. But it's fascinating you were talking about the profile there, because overflights of populated areas became a big no-no for the Space Shuttle for a long time after Columbia, because of what happened with Columbia. Columbia, if she'd broken up 1 minute earlier, would have impacted downtown Dallas. It would have been a massive disaster, because we'd have had a lot of people on the ground impacted by that. So it was literally a minute. The minute held on for Columbia before she completely disintegrated was what stopped a lot of death on the ground. Literally, I would say that word, death on the ground. So overflight became a big thing as far as populated areas. So that'll be something they'll have to tease a little bit. I think it's obviously relaxed since, and it did relax near the end of the space shuttle program, but they will need to consider that. They don't want a ship breaking up overpopulated areas where the debris could impact on cities, on towns and villages.
Right. So the reason I jumped into that is because the J Mister is asking, how much distance could the shuttle travel cross range to counteract the spin of the Earth?
6,000. Oh, hang on. Leave that with me.
It was a lot.
Thousands of miles, yeah.
Yeah, thousands of miles.
Yeah, I don't think because shuttle was designed with the full-on delta wing and everything.
Yeah, for that purpose, because there was an orbit out of Vandenberg when they were going to fly from Slick 6 called the orbit once around, where essentially the shuttle would launch from Slick 6, get into space, either release or snatch a satellite in a single orbit, and then come back and land on the runway at Vandenberg and immediately roll into a little secret processing facility there. So it was like it never even happened. Just one orbit, out and back.
By the way, I've got an answer. It's 1,200 miles. It's less than I thought. 1,200 miles was the cross-range capability of the space shuttle.
Nice. But yeah, so that was the reason that was sort of designed into shuttle. As for Starship, I mean, Starship will certainly have some cross-range, but you can bet it's not going to be 1,200 miles. I mean, even a Falcon 9 has cross-range, right? Like, they angle it as it comes back in, sort of use the fuselage as like a lifting body, get some lift off of it. But yeah, I would be really curious to hear like an actual number from Gwen or Kathy Leaders or Elon or something. Like, what is shuttle's cross range? And like, what does its re-entry profile look like? How are you going to mitigate flying over populated areas? Like, these are all questions that are going to have to be answered. Hopefully, in the next like 6 months to a year, if everything goes to plan. John T's asking, what will the payload be on Flight 7? Chris, what do you think? Do you think the payload will continue to just be data? Maybe they'll throw like
bananas,
a bunch of bananas instead of one.
Yeah. Knowing SpaceX are probably more relevant, Elon. If they're looking for the jerky payload, then I can't imagine them doing the banana jerk again. Sometimes things wear a little thin. So maybe the banana jerk has worn thin. I'm hoping we're going to start seeing some Starlinks. Just stick a Starlink, one Starlink in the purse dispenser. Doesn't have to deploy it. Just stick it in there, just see what it looks like. They can afford it. It's only one.
Yeah, that would make sense to me. Ryan, what do you think, buddy?
They might put something on, or they may just fly it, or they just fly and not have much issue here. Well, you know, we got something going on here. We don't have any engine chill. Sorry to interrupt the question, but trying to figure out what SpaceX is doing right now, and it's more and more looking like a tanking test because we don't have any engine chill going on here. So, yeah, I think we've got a good old tanking test today. Unless something changes.
I mean, there's a bunch of hours in the window when it goes to what? Is it 8 p.m. or is it 4 p.m. today?
It's 4 today.
It's still a bunch of time. Let's see what they do. Okay, let's speed run a couple questions. First off, we have oh gosh, where did it go? I just had it here. Oh yeah, Riley is asking about our thoughts on Jared Isaacman getting the nomination for NASA admin. A bunch of people are asking about our thoughts for that. Like we said at the top of the show, check out the Raptor side that Chris did on SBL. That's available to members, or check out yesterday's Flame Trench, where we talked about it for like over an hour. Just the summary is very excited. Smile says, I just joined. What are they doing to the booster right now? That's what we're trying to figure out. Could be a tanking test. Could be a spin prime, maybe. Probably looking like a tanking test. Not a static fire. Obviously not a launch. We have no one and yet everyone asking if it's likely that the unbuilt Star Factory at Roberts Road will be tooled up to produce 12-meter diameter Super Heavy and Starship versions.
No.
I doubt it. They're going to go with 9-meter. Although... keep your eyes out because we do have a KSC flyover coming out. So if you want updates on what is actually going on at Kennedy Space Center. Check that out in the coming couple days here.
First off, there is no Star Factory at Roberts Road yet. The one that's built there is being used by Falcon at the moment. The one that they ended up they first built for Starship is now being used for Falcon stuff and whatnot. And they just some recent satellite photos from Harry. We saw that they're starting to clear the north lot, so we should start. It'll take a while because it's basically like wetlands and wildlands up there, so they have to clear all the brush and trees out. Then they have to go in and do a bunch of groundwork, and then there's a lot of prep work they have to do before they build a factory and a bay or bays for stuff. I wouldn't expect that factory, along with all of the tooling required for it, which will be 9 meters. It's not going to be 12. They are stuck to 9. If they do a 12-meter Starship, it won't be Starship, and it won't be until like 15, 20 years down the road.
Right.
Yeah. It's probably going to be about 2.5, 3 years until that site is fully operational and pumping out Starship. So it's going to be a bit, but once it starts going, it's going to go.
To that end, we do have a question here from Samuel Miller asking, oh no, I lost it. Oh my, why am I so bad at this today? Here we go. Samuel Miller says, when do you think we'll see the first human landing system ship, and does the demo launch from KSC or Starbase? Chris, two-part question. When and where?
You know what? Well, for the second part, I want to say KSC. It's just that 39A is a natural HLS launch site, I would say, especially a NASA contract. But
even like a demo, like
that's the thing. The demos. I mean, we're looking at Target and Chaser, those two ships as well for the refilling demos. I think Nelga from Starbase. It's really interesting. I don't know. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say I don't know. I don't mind saying I don't know, and I don't know. I would like it to go from KSC, but again, KSC is still a while off. We are seeing progress now back on 39A Starship Tower, and the tank farm they're going to be building there by taking down the old LOX tank. But as far as them actually giving us maybe some photographs, because it'll be inside Star Factory if anywhere, the work on the HLS ship, that'll be something to really get a good insight into, because I think there's rumours there's certainly mock-ups and interiors and things like that for it. But we've not actually seen anything officially from SpaceX, and if it's inside Star Factory, there's no way you're going to see it through the windows. You never know, Jack. You might see it through the window.
I mean, the one thing you can very easily see in Star Factory is the nose cones. So if a nose cone starts going through the flow, and it doesn't get pins, I'm gonna get very excited very fast. I think. Right now in the Star Factory, there's 35, 36, 37's nose cone, and 38's header tank just got put on a stand to get a nose cone put around it. So maybe in the 40s, we'll see a moon ship roll through there. That would be, oh my god,
that'd be amazing.
So, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of nuts. We recently caught and it got installed. It got sleeved onto its nose cone. What was it, November 8th or 9th or something like that, so about a month ago, was ship 37, which says that, okay, the next ship's header tank is probably set up, which is ship 38. It's like, well, the production increase we wanted to see is starting to go. However, they now run into the bottleneck of the fact that it's taking them a month and a half to 2 months to stack a Block 2. Hopefully they can pump that up, but the quickest they were able to stack a Block 1 is once a month. So if they can get to that and they can produce that, they can then do 12 ships a year out of Mega Bay 2. That's not counting them knocking down the Stargate building and High Bay and building something for ships and boosters. But if you really look at the if you look at the best they could do with Block 1, which is even better than what they could do with Block 2 right now, you're looking at 12 ships a year. And boosters, it's like 6. Not even. The boosters is... Actually, no, not even 6. Boosters is like 4 or 5 boosters a year, maybe. It takes a while for them to stack those things. The hope is the Block 2 goes a lot faster than what they currently do, because it takes them like 2.5, 3 months sometimes to stack these boosters.
I mean, I still think Star Factory is not even close to fully online. Like, at some point, it's going to enable a ramp, just building more sub-assemblies inside the Star Factory and then rolling them strictly for stacking at the bays. But we'll see how it goes. Speaking of seeing how it goes, we got a pretty frosty booster here.
Yeah, this is definitely more prop load than you would need for a spin prime, and still no engine chill, so we're definitely looking like a tanking test. We'll see how much they go. I wouldn't expect them to do too much more methane. I think we're about at 2 rings of methane plus the dome itself, right. And of course the transfer tube that goes down. Yeah, we're about 2 rings or so. 2 full rings of methane, and then...
What does the dome equal in terms of a ring? Like, is the dome like a half a ring worth of methane?
I'm trying to remember what the elliptical dome is off the top of my head.
I'm really stretching the Ryan knowledge base here.
Do I have that? I don't know if I have the I have the old dome stuff written down.
Figure it out, because you're Ryan Weber, and we expect
Okay, I'll check.
In the meantime, I'd rather be flying an X-Wing. Thank you for the super chat. They say, any thoughts or rumors about manufacturing in orbit? Seems like Starship's massive cargo capacity could make that more feasible. I really think that's something very, at least interesting to me, that Starship could enable, is on-orbit construction. Because every rocket so far has to be burdened by being aerodynamic and having to re-enter the atmosphere. Like, let's build spacecraft in space and make true spacecraft. That's really exciting. I haven't heard any rumors about it or anything like that, but it just seems like a no-brainer. Chris, any thoughts? Let's use Starship to build an Enterprise in orbit.
Well, it's been proposed. It's been proposed by ULA years and years and years and years, and they keep proposing it, but they never get around to doing it. They use the ACES system, where they basically utilize a cislunar economy of 2,000 workers. They wanted 2,000 people working in cislunar orbit, and basically saying this is where we're going to have orbital platforms and build structures and what have you, but it never came to bear. Now, ULA is very profit margin based, and you can imagine SpaceX being, well, we want to do it, let's do it. So there might be a different kind of economy of scale, especially with Starship's ability and capability of providing the upmass to create such a platform. I would love it. I would love an Enterprise being built in a space dock in Earth orbit or something like that. I think we are way off that though. I think the priority right now, especially from Elon and SpaceX, and NASA in fact, is to build a permanent base on the moon and then a self-sustaining city on Mars. And I think those things are achievable without that requirement of an orbital platform.
Talking while muted, sorry. Ryan, any thoughts on on-orbit construction? Also, Alex on the channel saying that engine chill is running, so maybe spin prime after all?
Yeah, and I literally noticed that, and then you asked me the question. I was gonna, but yeah, you've got the clouds from the LOX pond that's over to the side, and the engine chill ring, the engine chill pipe under the OLM is going. So they are doing engine chill right now. So we will see if this becomes a tanking test turned into a spin prime or something. I guess we will have to see what they do, because this is not usually how they do it. So, but in terms of manufacturing in orbit, yes, please. Can we get like an Earth space dock with San Francisco fleet yards, Utopia Planitia fleet yards? Come on, let's build Constitution classes, Galaxy class. Let's do it. I'm here for it.
Hang on, Ryan. What was the shipyard in Battlestar Galactica? I've forgotten.
Oh dear.
Hang on.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
I've been awake for a while because I worked last night, and I gotta make my brain work.
I'm failing you on the pop culture knowledge there. Battlestar Galactica is not one of my strong points.
Scorpion shipyards. Thank you.
There it is.
Go. Thank you, Chris.
As always, as we continue to say every time me and Chris are on stream together or a Raptor side, we constantly say we need to do a members sci-fi stream.
Yeah.
At some point, we have to do it.
Needs to happen.
Yep.
I'm still bummed we didn't stream when I made Adrian watch The Fifth Element.
Oh no, yeah.
Good stuff. All right, so engine chill's running. Maybe we'll see a spin prime. Maybe just a tanking test. Either way, booster is nice and healthily loaded. I'm more than I expected to see it get loaded today, so that's interesting. Anthony Lasago, thank you for, holy cow, $50 super chat. Thank you so much, Anthony. That's so extremely generous of you. They're asking, which flight do you think will be the first full orbital flight? How many times do you think they'll go around before deorbit? And do you think they'll actually launch some sats on the first orbital flight? Okay, three-parter. Which flight will be first full orbital? I'm going to say 8. Do we think they'll actually launch some satellites? Yeah, I think they will. And how many orbits? Oh man, I have no idea. However many it takes. That's a boring answer, but Chris, I'll throw this one to you. When first orbital flight? Well, let's go through it piece by piece.
Yeah. Flight 8.
How many times do you think they'll go around before deorbit?
4.
4? All right. Solid number. I mean, you're very confident in 4. Is there a reason, or are you just saying 4?
No, I'm just guessing.
Okay. No, it's good. I like it. I like it. And do you think they'll actually launch some satellites?
Yes. Starlinks.
Nice. Heck yeah. I hope so. I mean, I'm excited to see that. It's going to be really killer footage from Starship of the Starlinks getting spat out the door there. Webby, what do you think? When first orbital flight, or which?
Well, before I do that, Alex is pointing out in the back channel, reminding me that usually if this was a tanking test, then the engine chill kind of lines up at the T-minus 19 minutes for when they would want to finish prop load, give or take. So, yeah, we're kind of... It kind of lines up still, but you never know. SpaceX, they could end this and then do spin prime, but I've never seen them do spin prime with this much methane on board. So, yeah, I'm unless they were to like detank and recycle, which I don't think they would do since they have until 4. I think they would just do this test and then go straight into Monday. But it's looking like just a regular tanking test because the engine chill kind of lines up with that. But and in terms of first orbital flight, yeah, flight 8. I think they'll do one orbital flight of Block 2, feel it out, get used to it, and then they'll go to orbit. I think they will do Starlinks. I don't know how many. Yeah, I don't really know how many orbits they'll do. Maybe a couple, kind of like 4, was like Chris was saying. Something like that. And then if either they dunk it in the Pacific, I think somewhere along there, or they are confident enough that they go, let's dump it in the Gulf. So bring it back over land and then put it in the Gulf of Mexico. Like kind of like you're trying to catch it, but you don't because you do it slightly offshore or something. I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah, maybe. I could see that.
I do see people in chat citing orbital dynamics, which is kind of important. Looking at 8 required to come back over the launch site. So that'd be interesting if it's 8. That'll be a long mission to cover, won't it?
Cover the whole thing.
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be like, we only get 12 hours on YouTube. We'll have to start the stream like 1 hour to launch.
We'll do a launch stream and a catch stream.
Oh, we got the stakeout streams now, haven't we?
Chris, we'll do the stakeout stream. We'll do the launch stream.
Yeah.
And then we will do the catch, landing, or like the coast and landing stream or whatever. Yeah.
I look forward to it. What is it? 90 minutes times 8 orbits, 720 minutes divided by 60 for 12 hours? Yeah, 12 hours. Jeez.
8. Yeah. So double that. Yeah. If they want to bring it back over, I guess is the whole thing. If they want to put it in like the Indian Ocean or Pacific or put it in an ocean somewhere, I know they could pick their landing zone and pick how many orbits they want to do. But if they did want to bring it back over, then yeah, 8 orbits to do it.
You know, I've not looked at the panel, so I hope I'm not really annoying Jack by just keeping on this, but we could do the orbit stream and have a cooking show in the middle.
I'm here for it.
Let's do it. Basically, we have the stream, the launch stream, the booster gets caught and everything, and we kind of just keep it open and do a cooking stream while they safe the booster, get it out of the way, and then we come back with another stream as the booster is rolling down the highway or whatever, and then a ship comes in and gets caught.
Yeah.
There.
We've got a plan. Kevin, let's make it real. Let's do this. We've decided.
Yeah, write the run sheet. We're good.
Yeah, write the run sheet. Kevin in the back channel.
Kevin in the back. Great.
On it.
But yeah, that's a good topic of discussion. In fact, Samuel Miller had asked if we thought we would see ship landings in the Gulf first, which is a good question. Neil is asking, how many booster catches do we guess we will see next year? I'm gonna say 7. Ryan, what do you think?
Well, here's the thing. Depends on how many Block 1 boost hand. Depends on how many times they fly. That's a tough one. How many? Because in terms of launches, I think we see maybe 7 to 8, maybe.
Yeah,
that is entirely dependent,
and that they don't catch all of them. So
that's entirely dependent on whether or not they reuse Block 1s or they're able to build Block 2 boosters much faster and test them much faster. Which so far with Block 2 a ship, like just for example, they're about to roll out. What is it? In 2 days, we have a rollout closure for Ship 33 to go to Massey's for static fire testing. That is about 4 months faster, or so, than any Block 1. 3 to 4 months faster. If they were to hit their target, or sometime around January, early February to launch Ship 33, they will have almost cut their stack and testing time of ships almost in half to get it ready to fly. So if they can do that with boosters, then yeah, we could get like 8 next year or something like that, assuming Pad B is online. But we'll see. Go with 6 booster catches. Some will fail. I think we'll go with that.
Chris, what do you think? How many catches next year?
You know what? To me, it's down to the amount of launches they'll achieve, and then probably taking out 2 diverts where they decide not to bring the booster back, because that's going to be an option going forward. Then you look at Falcon 9, which always comes back. It's very rare they'll have an issue with a Falcon 9 booster coming back, so they're a while off that yet. So I'm going to give them some allowance for some diverts where the tower of the booster's not happy. I'm hoping for 12 launches next year, which is probably a bit bonkers. So I'm going to go with 10. Give me allowance of losing 2 to the Gulf and getting 10 catches. That's optimistic, to be fair, but I'm going with it.
No, I like it. I like optimistic. That's basically the same exact math I did. I was thinking 9 launches, 2 expended for whatever reason or failed catch, and then so I said 7 catches. But that's basically the same exact math I did. That's humorous to me. Eric Frazier's asking, can you say for sure that Flight 7 will not have a horse on board, Chris?
Yes, unfortunately. They're bad enough having to be like kind of tranquilized and it being a herd on a cargo flight. Never mind a single horse on a Starship. Horses do not like horse facts time. Horses do not like being alone. If you see a horse in a pasture on its own because some father's bought their daughter a pony, that's a sad horse. They like being in with other horses.
Aww. I think I recently saw a picture of a whole bunch of horses on a like passenger airliner that had been stripped out. Was it like Air Horse 1?
Yeah, Air Horse 1. Yeah, the equestrian championships. They tend to air freight them, but they're very well looked after. And they do like being together. They've got enough food. They're with other company. They're usually fine. They've got tranquilizer options if they do get a bit restless, but they usually cope all right with other horses. They're fine.
Have we done the math? How many horses could fit in Starship?
It'd be a fair few.
Sorry, I got horsed again. Six String Simpleton is asking, what remains for the Flight 7 vehicle testing-wise? Well, today we're looking at the booster either getting tanked or getting spin primed. It also needs to static fire, presumably. Also, Ship 33 needs to static fire. But beyond that, I mean, maybe a wet dress or a mini wet dress. Ryan, am I forgetting anything? There's not much.
I know they haven't done a wet dress the last two, but I would expect them to do one this time around because it's the first Block 2. I wouldn't be surprised. Then again, SpaceX could be SpaceX and just do their partial load. But part of me thinks that they'll want to do a full wet dress because that'll be the heaviest stack they've done so far. Because there's an extra 300 tons of propellant in that ship now, compared to Ship 31. So I think they'll go ahead and do a whole wet dress before they launch this time around.
Do you think the Flight 7 stack's going to come off the pads slower because of that?
That entirely depends on what the Raptors are like on this booster. Are they upgraded to deal with that extra 300 ton? Well, though you have to remember though, extra 300 ton. Let's just say the added weight is only an extra 300 tons. For those of you who remember, that's like 1.3 Raptors worth of thrust.
Yeah.
That's off the top of my head. It's probably not right, but it's off the top of my head anyway. I don't think it won't be any noticeable slower. It really won't be. I mean, it might push down the thrust to weight ratio a little bit, but that's only if they really are running at 230. Maybe they're running higher than that. I mean, we really don't know. So
interesting.
Yeah.
A little bit of venting from the booster there. The LOX tank is like nearly full, which is nuts.
Yeah. They have about a quarter. It's about a quarter of the methane tank. And I guess they wanted to fully fill the LOX tank for some reason.
Some more venting.
Only SpaceX knows why.
Interesting test today.
I mean,
what are you expecting to see next, Ryan? In terms of like, were you looking for the OLM vent to come back? Are you looking for a depress? Are you looking for some vapor from the engines? Like, where are we at?
Basically looking for the OLM vent to come back. If we go by, the OLM vent went off for prop loading around 11:06, give or take, and your LOX loading, and if we go by that kind of timeline along that, T0 could be, Alex is predicting a back channel around 11:50 or so. So we could be within a couple of minutes of seeing that OLM vent come back. So yeah, let's kind of watch and wait here. And for those, and I'll just kind of say as a general, for those of you who are asking why SpaceX is doing this, even though we can't see major changes to the vehicle on the outward, like the only real big change to this booster is the fact that it doesn't have the engine chill pipe up top that connects to the hot stage ring, which then connects to the ship, because Block 2 doesn't need that anymore because the engine chill lines for the ship now run through the aft flat fairings and they flare out, so they don't need that directional anymore. But we have no idea what internal changes SpaceX may have done to these boosters. Since it's done cryo, it's been back, and there's an OLM vent back, so that's finish of LOX loading. We should be at full prop load for this. But to say like SpaceX could have made a lot of internal changes, they want to go ahead and test this kind of stuff just kind of make sure, verify that all the systems are good to go before they, fire off these engines, whether it be a spin prime or a static fire itself. But
by the way, Ryan, static fire, two things, right? This is not foolproof because it has happened once where Mary was not given an overpressure notice and they did a static fire test, but that was a mistake. Every other time there's been an overpressure notice to locals about a static fire test. That's why we feel quite confident it's not a static fire test, but also scaffolding. There's no way to do a static fire test with the scaffolding up, would they?
No, because if they were to fire all 33 of those engines right now, you would create a massive low pressure zone right at the aft end of the booster.
Right. If you've seen my slow-mo shot of a static fire, it, like tight on that area, you can see all of that vapor sort of get venturied into the mount. Like all that scaffolding would just be sucked in.
It would be sucked in and damage the OLM. It would damage the booster. It could go in, damage the engines. You don't want to do that. And then of course, once done, you get the shockwave that goes out, and it'll just blow all that stuff all over the place. So it'll literally suck it in and blow it out. And you don't want to do that at all. So they have never done
scaffold-rich testing, scaffold-rich engine combustion. Ions in chat says, so good. Cheese tasting enthusiast, thank you for the support. They say, would Pad B be lower than Pad A? If so, I presume double stacks would look pretty unique if they happen. Oh, they're gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though. I don't know about heights. Ryan, any thoughts? I mean,
there's
still a lot of
OLM
construction
should be
to go
lower
until we know.
It should be lower.
Oh wait, hang on. DSS.
That's DSS.
That's the detonation suppression system.
Static fire.
Yeah, no way. But that would be pretty funny.
It would be pretty funny. And spin prime.
That is what a spin prime looks like.
They did a tanking test plus a spin prime.
Excellent. One step closer to Starship Flight 7.
Right.
That is a lot of vapor.
Yeah, that is a lot of vapor.
Very neat. Well, now we wait and see what SpaceX does next exactly, but that certainly looked like a spin prime.
That next should be. Usually they hold it for a little bit. They'll start detanking. They'll do a depress from flight pressurization. They'll do a slight depress.
I wonder if we'll get a water deluge test.
I haven't checked. Yeah, I don't know. But they might. I don't think there's a reason to. I mean, you're gonna get based off of what they just did. You're gonna get that test on Monday. So.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. Fair. They'll test it on Monday. So why do it now? In fact, I don't even know if it's. I don't know if they've recharged it since launch. I'm trying to remember if they did.
So many water trucks.
It's been a minute, so yeah, I think it happened a little bit ago, but yeah. Well, there've been a lot of water trucks to take out a lot of the water because it's been raining a lot too. So.
Also, yes. I mean, they can come bring in clean water and then suck up the gross water and take it out.
But basically, they'll do a small depress, then they'll detank, and once it's pretty much detanked, they'll do a final depress and safe the vehicle, and then they'll basically get ready for probably a static fire on Monday. So
let's go. Yeah. All right. Well, I think with that, we're gonna let Chris Bergenator, the Bergie Yorkshireman extraordinaire. I'm sorry, Chris. We're gonna let you go.
No, yes.
Thank you for being on. We love you so much. You're the best. Thank you for creating NASASpaceflight. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
I had something else, but it completely left my brain.
All you got to do is say, right, Chris is going now. Bye, Chris. Thanks, Chris. Bye. I'll go, thanks, Jack. Bye. And then introduce a new person. That's all you got to do with me. But if you did hear a few little echoes during that last few minutes or so, that was just me rewinding and bandicamming the spin prime. And I forgot to mute my microphone as I was putting on to X. But yeah, we're good now. Anyway, thank you and goodbye.
Thanks. Bye, Chris. The chat is really mad that I called you Bergie, but they're going to have to deal with it. Also, replacing Chris on chat today or on stream is Sawyer. Sawyer, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, that was a pretty nice looking test there with all the tanking and then the spin priming and the DSSing. Looked pretty good.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens next, if they just detank or if they have more in store for today.
Let's go static fire today. Just
yeah, right.
blow it. Yeah.
Who needs a
I
little
honestly
pressure
hope-
notice?
I do hope they wrap up testing soon because I have to go record Starbase Update.
I just got here. Come on. Let's have some fun. Let it hang out a little longer.
I don't mean that soon. I mean, we still should hang out because we got a lot of good questions. So let's definitely make sure we keep them coming, chat, if you have any questions for us. And now Sawyer, about Flight 7 or today's test or whatever, maybe like what constitutes an actual bagel and why Sawyer's wrong about it. Just type your question at NASASpaceflight in chat and we'll see your question.
You know what?
What?
I'm gonna say this. Nothing beats a plain bagel with plain cream cheese. Nothing.
Yes.
There's something wrong with you.
Nothing
Yes, Brian.
beats that.
You're like
I
Ned
knew I
Flanders.
liked you.
What's the Ned Flanders quote that's like, sometimes I have a glass of water before bed with a piece of white bread on the side for dipping or something like that. Like that's so Ned Flanders of you. A plain bagel with plain cream cheese.
I'll take an everything bagel too. I mean, come on. It's basic.
But you said there's
good.
nothing better. But you said there's nothing better. Like, no, I'm sorry. It's categorically a sesame bagel.
It's a classic.
A sesame bagel.
It's a go-to good classic.
Sesame bagel beats plain bagel any day of the week. It's also a classic. It's also simple. You're just demonstrably wrong. I can't agree.
Ryan Weber and I
by the way.
don't agree on much, but we agree on plain bagel, plain cream cheese. Yes.
Kevin,
Kevin for the win.
That's just the way.
For
Kevin.
once.
Kevin, we're bros, okay? No, we're like way off the rails here. Spin Prime happened. It's bagel chat.
And
Kevin,
there's replays coming.
Yeah, there are replays coming. Thank you, Sawyer. Kevin, we're bros, right? We're friends. Like I feel like we have a certain bond. Like
we do.
I feel like I get you. And yet I do not understand how you're advocating for plain bagel. You're a man of the world. Like, come on.
Yeah. And in the rest of the world, they have just like plain bagels with plain cream cheese. Yeah. Jack, I don't get your bagel, your bagel trends or whatever. I don't even know how to say it.
Preferences, yeah.
Preferences.
Chat, if you have no idea what we're talking about, in the member Discord, in Food Chat, there's been an ongoing debate about what is and is not a bagel. I think a jalapeno cheddar everything bagel is top bagel, is peak bagel, and others advocate that is not even a bagel. I don't think...
Jalapeno
plain bagel?
cheddar?
Jalapeno cheddar everything. It's everything plus jalapeno and cheddar. It's all that in a bag of chips, Sawyer. Deal with it.
Hey, Jack, you know what's not a bagel?
Starship?
Booster 14.
Also, by the way, worth noting, the bag of chips in that case would go on the side, so the Asiago and the cheese and the whatever jalapeno crap would go on the side.
Okay, we're going to table bagel chat for right
yes,
now.
let's go to actual Starship stuff. That's what I joined for. Not to be bombarded with bagel bombasting.
Good stuff. Wertaz is asking, in the far future, humanity eventually got to the point of interstellar travel. What should be the first place to go? Proxima Centauri or a different star in the local area? Sawyer, it's 100 years from now. You've been warped into the future through a cool portal or something. It's like Sliders. Remember that show from the 90s, Sliders? You're going through the Sliders tunnel, you come out, and you can send a mission interstellar wherever. Where do you send it?
I'll take my TARDIS, thank you. What I think would be really cool is, I'm trying to remember the name of the star system that Voyager is kind of on track to reach. It would kind of be cool to beat Voyager there, almost, see what it's like, and then, if we could set up a settlement, greet Voyager as it arrives, thousands of years later.
That would be nifty. Ryan? Portal, etc., sliders, etc. What do you do?
Yeah. That's a tough one. Be cool to go see like Beetlejuice, something like that. Hopefully it hasn't already. If it hasn't already blown up by then, you know, see like a hypergiant. You know, like one of the biggest stars in our galaxy or ever. It just try to see the scale of it, or try to understand the scale of something like that would be really, really cool.
All right, hear me out. I would send a vehicle right on the edge of wherever the electromagnetic radiation bubble from Earth is once we started transmitting radio and television signals. And it would record everything that it picked up and then send back little, I assume, faster than light probes. So it's like, it could be, like you could stream OG radio and TV like in real time. I would send some weird relay probe. That's not exciting, but that's what I would do.
That's actually genius. All I can think of is the opening to Contact. You get all the radio waves as you go further out.
But yeah, you know, or a star or star system or, you know, something like that also would be very cool. Interesting question, Wartaz. Keep them coming. You've had a couple good ones on this stream. We have a bagel vote in chat, a poll. Plain bagel, plain cream cheese, or jalapeno cheddar everything bagel? How is jalapeno everything cheddar bagel losing so badly?
You know why.
No, I don't know why. I know why. I do know why. It's because chat loves to pick the thing they know I don't want them to pick. It's purely out of spite. I'm sure the vast majority of chat would devour readily a jalapeno cheddar everything bagel. But
you know what?
It's because you're wrong.
It's more funny when number go down, when Jack want number to go up. I get it. That's more funny.
By the way, you know what else can go on a bagel? LOX. And you know what LOX also stands for? Liquid oxygen, of which there is some in Booster 14 still.
That's true.
There's a lot in Booster 14 right now.
Somebody should open a bagel joint in Browns. I can't get good bagels here. It kills me. I'm just gonna keep it on bagels. You can keep trying to take it back to Starship, but no, we're gonna keep going back to bagels, baby.
Get an Einstein's Bagels franchise down there or something. I don't know. St. Louis.
That's not. I said good bagels. I said good bagels. Echo Mandy is asking, do you think that the initial boosters and starships for CAPE will be built at Starbase? Sawyer, as one of our resident CAPE fellows, which I guess is a term that I just created, as one of our resident CAPE fellows, what do you
Crusader.
What are your thoughts? I mean, seems kind of like yes to me. Starships and boosters at the Cape, though, is going to be sick.
Oh, it's going to be absolutely awesome once it does happen. And with the upcoming KSC flyover, you'll get to see some of the Roberts Road progress. But I think at this point, why would SpaceX need to either get or figure out how to have a giant barge, truck it all the way on, send it around the Florida Peninsula, get to the turning basin at KSC, and do all of this when you can just build it there? I mean, Hangar X2 went up really fast.
Connor Sprit in chat says the OLM kind of looks like a bagel. It does!
Oh my god.
It does!
Anyway, Hangar X2 went up really quickly, so I wouldn't be surprised if their Starship hardware also goes up really quickly and they build the first one there.
I'm going to start calling it the OLB. Oh. The Orbital Launch Bagel.
And what is wrong with today that I'm the one trying to keep things on the rails?
Work continues on the Orbital Launch Bagel.
Jack has now lost it. Okay, Jack. Since you're doing SPU today, and you already said it, you got to record SPU today. It is your mission, and it is your mission to find a way to introduce Orbital Launch Bagel into it. You have to.
I'll see what I can do. No promises.
Yeah.
Here's one. Flo Shreeped is asking, do you think there's a chance the Hubble rescue mission is now back on the table with Jared getting the nom for NASA admin? Sawyer, what do you think?
I'm going to be honest. No. I would love it to be. I would absolutely love it to be. I want to be wrong. I want to see that thing either service to keep going and then preferably returned back to, say, the Smithsonian or something. But
yes.
The problem is, it's not just Jared's call. There's a lot of other scientists and engineers and bureaucrats and things that have their hand in the pot as well. And
Right.
so I think it's probably going to be a no, but boy, do I hope he proves me wrong with that.
Oh my god,
Hey.
John in chat says OLB, that's why they keep toasting it. That's why they keep toasting it, because it's a bagel. It was under our noses all along.
Oh my goodness. This is just gonna keep going.
At some
And
point, I'll
Jackie
finish a
lost.
proper answer. It's fine.
The whole thing with what was it with the Hubble? He could just Ed Baldwin it, assign himself to the mission, and make the mission, and then go
my
do it
God.
himself.
Having just watched For All Mankind, I get this reference.
Yeah, assign himself to the mission. He goes and repairs it. The NASA administration goes and repairs Hubble himself. Oh.
Let's see. More questions. Keep them coming. We're waiting to see what happens with the booster. I mean, obviously we're keeping our eyes on it, but, you know, bagels are kind of more important, so... Snacking continues
seem to
on the
be-
Orbital Launch Bagel. Oh my god, Echo Deal.
Wait a
Best
minute,
super
there's-
chat.
hang on.
Best super chat ever.
Hang on, there's now a bagel command, and apparently it says bagels have no relevance to the orbital launch mount. Hashtag Nightbot facts.
Wait, what? No, I don't agree. I'm sorry, I don't agree.
Also,
they
bagel
both
doesn't
have a
have an
hole in the
apostrophe.
center. They're both round. They're highly relevant.
It looks like they were holding the prop load for a bit. I'm trying
It
to tell
does.
if they're detanking
Yeah.
at all.
No major depress vent or anything like that.
I don't see like the line going down at all, unless my eyes aren't working great. I've been awake for a good chunk of time, so
I haven't noticed it drop at all either.
Just
It's
gonna
holding-
show that message on screen there.
Oh, that's brilliant, Echo.
Bill, thank you for the super chat. They say Team Plane. I may disagree with you, but I still appreciate your support. Matt Hicks, thank you for the super chat. They say any bagel less than sign homage biscuits. I don't know what that is. Michael Bertoldi, thank you for the super chat. They say Spin Prime Woo. Phil, thank you for the support. They say Woody on Booster 14 and Buzz on Ship 33. They have hinted. That would be pretty cool.
But
Ben,
what does the Toy Story reference have to do with the version 2 ship and 14, though?
Yeah.
I have no idea. We'll figure it out.
At least
Sure.
we get bananas for scale, because that's been a long-running joke.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see what decals SpaceX puts on 33. I mean, the decal could already be on it when it rolls out for static fire. So we'll see. I just wish they did decals like SpaceX decals on boosters, unless they're saving that for like Block 2 or something. But we'll see.
Gary Sven Sailing in chat is asking, can you describe an orbital arc in bagel terms? Devin Waldron, thank you for gifting 5 red team memberships. Josh,
I was like, are you taking that, Jack?
for the super chat. No, sometimes sometimes a long pause is called for, comedically. They're asking who is more like Dr. Zephyrin Cochran, Elon or Jared. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Jared.
Jared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Creasy Vision, thank you for the super chat. They say I can't remember where I saw it now. Might have been the TEA, but I saw some mention of a landing platform in the Gulf. Do we know anything about that? I thought drone ship landings were off the table. Ryan.
They are not off the table. I know. I think it was. I think it was in the TA. I think it was also in the EIS for 39A as well. The updated one, that is. If I remember, like breakover fixtures, things like that, and yeah, all the EAs have had them. Yeah, that's right. This is the thing is SpaceX hasn't stopped talking about landing offshore with Starship, whether it's with booster or ship. They have always talked about it. Basically, like And in this case, if they don't have any landing legs on either of them, they're gonna have to have a tower on whatever barge or drone ship they make to catch the vehicles on. So in the middle of the ocean. So let's see how that works.
I miss the oil platforms. Remember those?
Phobos and Deimos.
Yeah.
Yes. But that would be
Bishop
crazy
in
having
chat
a whole
is saying
tower.
a Bialy. Bialys are really good too.
Ooh.
They're like not quite bagels, but they're almost bagels.
Right. That's one, again, it's not a bagel. It is absolutely delicious. I'm not saying what you eat can't be absolutely delicious, but it's not a bagel.
It's a
A
bagel.
bialy is very different from a bagel.
But the place I buy it from makes Bialys too, and they don't call it a Bialy. They call it a bagel.
Well, then they're wrong. It's a bialy.
You're calling an entire bagel franchise wrong.
Yes, I am.
All right. I swear I'm gonna like get them on Twitter and start a war. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Bideford, thank you for the support. Let's see if good bagels are needed in Boca Chica. Bagel chat's not stopping. If you wanted it to stop, I'm sorry, it's not. If good bagels are needed in Boca Chica, need a Jersey shop to make them down there. And anything on a bagel, including whitefish, is yummy. I've never had whitefish on a bagel.
Oh, whitefish salad on a bagel is good.
Is that one of those salads that people make that's basically just something in mayo?
Kinda.
Mary, thank you for the support. They say bacon toasted in bagel grease, or bagel toasted in bacon grease. Bagels don't have grease, ideally. All right. Mars Endeavor's asking, will they need the second tower for version 2 boosters? It'll be taller, and the ship QD would have to be moved up again. What do we think? Will they retrofit Pad A for version 2 boosters before Tower and Pad 2 come online? Pad
In
B?
order
Oh
to
my God,
retrofit...
the naming, Ryan.
Oh, I know, it's utterly just... I can't stand it. SpaceX is annoying. But Block 2 booster is 1 ring taller. So, if SpaceX, with the new pad, puts it... What is it? 6 meters lower?
Right.
SpaceX puts the pad 6 meters lower than what it is currently. They can put the ship QD arm at the same height.
Oh my God, Top Banana 48 in chat says Texas Toast Watchers. All right, continue.
But it'll be about 5.5, I guess, 5.5 meters, give or take. But anyways, they put it low enough for the entire Block 2 stack to sit on it. The ship QD would be at the same height it's at. The QD arm would be at the same height as is now, but the QD would operate like it did back in the ship 20 days, where it was straight on rather than raised up, is what they could do. So, yeah, they might end up doing something like that. They might drop it down. They might. There's options for them to figure it out. It just really depends on how the OLM is placed and like that. And in terms of Pad A, what was it? In terms of Pad A, they'll knock the whole thing down, destroy it, redo it. Like the entire the lovely OLM we see here is going to be no more once Block 1 boosters are done flying. It'll go bye-bye. It has served its purpose.
It's going to be a sight once all that starts happening, that's for sure. Westy the Third is saying, how many flights next year? I'm still thinking 6. Sawyer, what do you think? How many flights next year?
Ooh. I'm going to go with 8. I know, who was it? Chris had said it earlier with the 8 for something else for orbits, but I don't know. I feel like they're going to get close to the 1 a month, but it's not going to be 1 every other month. I think as they continue to make improvements, and as you see the way they've been able to pick up the pace with all the testing, I think it's safe to say 8, and I'm hopeful maybe 10.
Yeah, I could see 10. Ooh, replays. Yeah, I mean, 10 is probably the number that I would expect next year. 12 in like a perfect world, 10 probably realistically, but still optimistic. Probably 8, 6 or 8 more realistically.
I'm thinking 6 to 8.
I expect the cadence to ramp, right? It's just how fast is that ramp going to be?
Because, like, we think Booster 17 is still a Block 1. There is a possibility we saw its aft section a ways back. And that's another... Oh, yeah, we're looking at replays. Dude, I'm sorry.
We're looking at bagels.
Yeah, we're looking at bagels. And Spin Prime.
By the way, you were talking about how fast they can ramp. I can ramp very fast, just saying. So if they
not
need
right now, you're
references-
horizontal.
Well, when I'm not horizontal, I can ramp fast.
Fair. I'd be remiss if I didn't call out Moto Kenzo in chat saying jalapeno sausage and cheese collage. This is Texas, damn it. All right, that is fair. Collages are delicious. It's not the same though. Like I eat a nice bagel with some cream cheese and some lox on there. I feel like I'm not being completely unhealthy. I eat a jalapeno and cheddar sausage collage, and I feel like I might as well be wolfing down like bear claws or something. They are good though. So you ever had a collage?
A what?
Kolache? I don't know actually how you're supposed to say that word.
Time to do a quick Google search.
It's like a pig in a blanket.
Oh, I've had pigs in a blanket, but I've never had a
It's like
whatever
a hot
this
dog wrapped in
is.
a doughy thing.
Oh, I mean,
Typically
I don't think
with
I've ever
filling.
heard it called that, but yeah, I've had it.
Psycho Mike
Delicious.
says kolache. Yeah, I don't know how to say that. Ryan, you ever had one?
I might have. I'm trying to remember now.
Alright,
My
well,
brain has gone
pro
like
tip.
full random
tip.
access memory at this point.
If you come to Starbase, a bunch of the donut shops around here will do kolaches, and they're delicious.
I need to go down there at some point here.
Is that
it just needs to line up like with a flight. It needs to line up with a flight and me not having to work.
Is this basically just a fancy sausage roll?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Although I don't know if
Then
I would
yeah, I've
call
had
it
it.
fancy, but yeah.
Then I had it when I was in Waco, so
Nice.
yeah.
Oh, was that for the eclipse?
No, it was a speaking event that I did with the mayor's family. The whole thing after CRS 12. It's a long story.
Huh. Cool. More replays. Got a long range view here.
Yeah, a little difficult looking as Starbase tries to remind you of Vandenberg.
You know, I just gotta say, it's like, you know, we love the replays. I'm just gonna say it out loud. We love the replays with static fires, but I mean, Spin Prime is, well,
It's good practice,
Yeah.
though, right? It's good practice.
right?
We are practicing and testing, and working out our
It's a
systems
cloud.
in the same way that SpaceX is with the booster. Matt K is asking, just got in, what happened? They did a spin prime, my guy, and they seem to be holding the levels of the prop in the tanks, which is quite interesting.
Trying to see if it's even dropped a little bit yet.
I don't think so.
Hard to tell. I don't
Maybe a
think
little
it
bit on the
has.
methane side, but that might just be wind direction.
How humid is it down there right now?
Not very, actually. Not very humid, not very buggy. It's not even hot. It's like straight up nice. It's gray and rainy, but it's nice. I'll take it over, 110 degree heat with 100% humidity and swarms of mosquitoes that literally look for any patch of exposed skin, including your frickin' eyeballs or nostrils. Summer down here, man. It's no joke. I welcome the winter.
By the way, potential, could this be like a kind of 30-minute hold they're doing almost to simulate their window of a launch?
Oh,
If that is, then then that hold would end in like a few minutes here.
interesting.
Yeah. Or
It's
if they're pushing to
possible.
see how long, if they can extend it a little bit past 30 minutes, maybe. Just think it out loud.
Yeah, I guess we'll keep our eyes open and see if that's what ends up happening.
I mean, they could have done it before the quote-unquote T0, because I saw Pizza's asking that in the back channel, but, I mean, it's almost as if they didn't start the engines, they just did the spin prime part. So it's almost like they kind of would abort midway through and then see if they could recycle, maybe?
Perhaps. It's always like I do sort of wish they blasted out on the PAs like, and now we're doing this test. Like that would be really cool.
One can dream.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
but it's got to be more like a subway announcement.
Or a pilot
that is
trying
what it's
to
like
talk
when you're
over
down
the
there.
PA.
When you're down there in the dunes and you hear the PA go off, 9 times out of 10 it's indecipherable. You have to be in like just the right position with a loudspeaker facing you and not that far away and not a lot of echo or reverb. In order, it's weird. It's if you ever played in a domed stadium, like you have to pay close attention to your sound because it's reverberating all around the dome. There's no dome in Starbase, but the reverberations are similar. Hear the
Eric
same,
Fraser,
hear the
it's
same
just
thing
the
like 3 times.
parents.
Peanuts, yeah, basically. Jason Alexander is asking, what time of day do we want the next launch to be? I'm ready for a night launch, honestly. Ryan?
Yeah, we might be some detanking. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. We're losing frost, but I don't know. Night launch would be cool just
Or
to
Twilight-
see the
Twilight
plume.
launch to get the jellyfish. I guess, yeah, I'm revising
Jellyfish
mine.
or something
Twilight
like that.
launch.
Yeah, this hot stage jellyfish. Yeah, I don't think Kevin wants one, but, you know.
Kevin
yeah.
doesn't want a night launch. A jellyfish would be sick, but a night launch is no fun because the night views are no fun. Daytime views are for sure the best photography-wise, but, like, I've gotten some good photos and videos, so let's do a Twilight launch.
Mix it up.
That's my vote. Sawyer, what do you think?
I mean, the lighting that we had on the last one was gorgeous. Imagine pushing that back maybe like 30 minutes.
Oh,
as
yeah.
get a little bit more of the setting sun. I think that would be absolutely spectacular. Again, kind of just before twilight, so it's still light enough to see everything, but a little bit dark enough that you get the amazing sky colors behind it and that slight jellyfish potential.
That would be nice.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That would be nice. So it does kind of look like they're detanking now. Like, or is that just wind direction on the frost?
I think they're starting to detank now.
Good deal.
Also, Jason Alexander, I loved you in Seinfeld.
For real. It's a European carry-all. Methane Man, thank you for the support. They say, here in Texas is peanut butter on Ritz crackers with jalapenos. Try it, it's delicious. No thanks. And Drew Nar, thank you for the super chat. They say, doesn't Tower 2 have an extra hinge point to raise up the QD arm for booster version 2? Also, I've been catching up on NSF at work for 4 hours now. Holy cow. Have we been live for 4 hours? No.
I think we were live with members for a little.
But they probably had to watch
there.
the Flame Trench and This Week in Spaceflight. And we were live with members, so there you go. Heck yeah, Drew. Yeah, Tower 2 does have that extra hinge point, doesn't it?
It does have an extra one for the actual main structure of the QD arm, although if I remember correctly, it's actually lower. But it does not have a separate attach point for the actuator itself. So the actuator only has one attach point, and it's the same location as the one that's on Pad A's tower. So it's still curious to see how they set it up and everything.
I don't know how to say this person's name, but they're asking how to get down off of Starship once it lands on Mars. Well, it's the same with the moon. They're like building an elevator thingy, right?
I would think it would be the same elevator type system to lower down crew, and I mean the benefit to having the elevators, then you can also lower down a bunch of the cargo. It's not as many trips back in and out. You can get your rover down and all your science experiments down with you. Just have it all down there.
Do you know how much money I would pay to get my Land Rover onto the surface of Mars? Full tank of gas. Just like, go for it, buddy. Oh my god. Mars rover. But Land Rover. Mars Land Rover? Yeah, I don't know. Anyways. That guy can dream. Jason Alexander's asking, what should I have for lunch today? I'm gonna go with soup.
No soup for you. 1 year.
Classic. Magnum is asking, what's that thing near Booster 14's cowbell vents, and have we already seen some changes to this booster? I'm looking at you, Ryan.
So the thing near the cowbell vents, if you're talking about that little like box right there, that is a valve. That's basically just a valve, and if I remember, that's the valve actuator right there itself. That debuted, words, English, and that started on Booster 13. So it's not new, and the rounder cowbells also started on the last booster as well. So there's a lot of things that kind of carry over from Booster 13 to this one. The only real major outline change that I talked about before was it does not have the ship engine chill pipe up at the forward dome. It does not need that anymore because the lines on Block 2 now run through the aft flat fairing, and then they kind of flare out and kind of go diagonal to the side. So whenever ship engine chill starts during the count for stacked Ship 33, you're literally just going to see the vapors come out just right out of the flat fairing. It'll look kind of cool. It'll be all kind of separate from that. So.
What else do we got here? Anonymous getting the Flight 6 patch from the store and saying, when Flight 7? I'm going to say January. I'm going to say mid-January. Sawyer?
I think that's a safe bet. I mean, I know right now they're targeting January 11th, no earlier than, as we saw from that NASA documentation. I'm going to go with the last week of January. I'm going to go with the 25th. I don't know why. That's the number popping into my head, but I feel like they're going to push it just a tiny bit. Maybe there's a little bit of final paperwork, a little bit of final checks, but I still think sometime in January.
Yeah, I would agree. Ryan, any additional thoughts?
Yeah, we've been hearing a lot for like beginning of January and stuff. I'm thinking, I'm still end of January, early February. So I think they'll run into some blocks with other stuff, but who knows? Who knows with SpaceX at this point? It seems like they're able to get these things ready a lot quicker now. So who knows? They could be ready for it. So could the FAA. So.
Let's see. Florida Man is asking, do y'all have any idea why the chopsticks are in Flight 1 to 4 position and not in the Flight 5 or 6 position? Any theories? Meaning they're not at the top of the tower right now.
They're just parking them out of the way. That's all. No real reason as to the location that they're at. They're just parking them out of the way while they do engine testing with the booster. They had them near the booster during a certain spin prime / spin boom. Rest in peace, White Hose. So they don't want to really experience that again, so they try to keep him out of the way.
Oh, poor Booster 7. Also, I do just want to point out during the rollout stream, someone called them the Choppies, and I absolutely love it.
They're totally choppies. Matt Hawk's asking, hi, How is it possible that Saturn V flew to the moon without refueling and Starship has to? Here's the thing about Starship compared to the Apollo command module and LEM. It big. It very, 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 very big. I think that's the ultimate summary of what it comes down to. You know, the lunar module's walls were famously like tinfoil, like super thin little mylar kind of nonsense. Like, we're sending a massive stainless steel reusable ship this time. It's not a little paper canoe. It's a 747, but for space.
They had
Damien
to
in
remove
chat-
the seats because they weighed too much on the lander.
Right. Damien in chat is really mad about choppies, so let's make sure we get a Nightbot command for choppies. Let's make sure we canonically call them that. Sorry, Damien.
Yeah, just to put in perspective, the LEM landing on the moon is 15 tons. Starship on its own dry mass is like over 150. Like, yeah.
Oh, we have a poll. Choppies or not choppies? You know what I'm voting for? Choppies. Sorry, Damien. Chris was on the ball. Let's see. Raiders asking, do you guys expect Jared to make any changes to the ISS program and lifespan? Sawyer?
I don't think so. I mean, it's because it's not just a NASA decision. That is also a decision with the 16 other partner nations that are a part of the International Space Station. So I think when you put all that together and just the current state of the ISS as is, I mean, you've got leaks that are happening that are continuing to grow. We haven't had a spacewalk longer than 30 minutes in like a year. So there's a lot of things that are starting to show their age on the ISS, and especially Jared, someone who I think embraces the commercial aspect of spaceflight just as much as the NASA side. I think he'd rather, let the ISS run its course and see what commercial companies can do in low Earth orbit as we start moving outward with NASA and other agencies.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I feel like Jared is the type of person who will be looking forward to what we can do with the current state of the art versus looking back. That said, obviously the Hubble thing stands in contrast to that, but the Hubble thing is a whole other ball of wax. Steve, thank you so much for the support. They say, we'll be down in Florida January 3 to 17th with my flight club. What launches will be at the Cape to look out for? Well, good news. There's an app for that called NASASpaceflight, which is a part of the NSF family. And NASASpaceflight will tell you everything you need to know about launches from any launch pad. But yeah, check that out. I'm sure you'll see several Falcon 9s at the very least.
If you're down there for...
Maybe even a New Glenn. Right, so
I mean, if you're there for 2 weeks, it's almost guaranteed that you will see a launch of some kind, typically SpaceX, if not multiple.
Yeah, you're going to see several, especially if you're trying to. Like, you could probably see one or two without even like if you're at Disney or something, you look over and you're like, oh look, a rocket launch. Such is the joy of Florida. And Phil, thank you for the super chat. They say, command, floppy for the sign at SpaceX chat wants it. They mean the sign at the production site? I don't make the Nightbot commands. That's Chris's. You have to talk to the Burgonator about that one. Breck is asking, do we think we'll see a static... Yeah, there's the sign. Thank you, Kevin. It's not flopping right now, though.
The wind died down a little bit down there.
It almost looks like the two guys in telehandlers are racing. I know they're not. They're driving very safely. But it almost looked like they were racing.
And,
Sorry.
SpaceX?
Breck was asking, do you think we'll see a static fire today? Because it seems like there's no detanking operations. Did we already do that one? Did I blank out?
I don't know, but they are detanking. Very slowly, but surely they are detanking. This could be a long one. They did put a decent amount of liquid oxygen in, so yeah, they got a detank, then fully depress, and then the road will open. So we're looking at what, hour and a half maybe, I think, until they're fully done and road is open at least.
Sounds about right. You can see the roadblock there. Or as I call it, the blocky.
Oh my god.
Are we just putting a Y? Are we just putting a Y on the end of everything now?
No, I don't call it that. I don't call it that. I just wanted to hear the reaction. I'm waiting to see what chat says. Chat hasn't reacted yet.
There was a great comment in the back channel. We need you going around Starbase. I will make a YouTube short out of it, pointing out all of the nicknames.
Maybe. We'll see. Starhopper is still Starhopper. Sorry, Jay. Everything else. That's the Tanky Farmy. That's the Orbital Launchy Bagley. That's the Boosty. Starhopper.
But that's like the perfect way to do it, is to start with, Choppies, whatever other nicknames you have, and then get to Hopper and just be Hopper.
Starhopper. Yep. It's Towie. Yeah, Eric, it's Towie. It's not Towery. That doesn't make sense. It's Towie. Demian says, I quit. No. We always see your name in chat. Come back. Samuel's asking, when full orbit? Sometime next year, perhaps? Ryan, what do you think?
Flight 8. I think is when they're going to do it. So, yeah, early next year or so. Or maybe not early next year, but at least probably by summer next year. Fingers crossed.
Chat is truly broken. SM31 says Starlinky.
Oh, gosh.
Classic says Rapti engines.
What did you do? What have you done? They massacred my boy.
Mega Bay E.
Oh.
Bay.
Kevin, I don't know if you're ready. Maybe. I'll let you sit. Oh, there it is, and there it goes.
So farewell, 39A giant Lox tank. We hardly knew ye.
That never got used at all, or filled, or anything.
No cap. For real, for real.
Ah, because they're removing the cap. That's funny.
Oh God.
Thanks, Alex.
That tank has L Riz right now.
Oh my God.
And with that, okay.
You could say it's been decapitated.
How is it that everyone else is coming up with the better puns than I am?
You're slacking, Sawyer.
Oh my gosh.
I am
so
way too tired to come up with anything. I am like out of it at this point.
Sawyer, don't fret. Normally I'm the one taking my cap off to your puns, but today, I'm just feeling motivated,
Jeez Louise. I got lots of catching up to do, I know.
You do. Good job.
Thank you. I'm not going to crane my neck to look any closer at the screen, but I see the cap removing.
It is being removed.
By cranes.
Yes, thank you. Yet another quizzical thing happening at the Starship pad at 39A. More revamping happening. Farewell, Lox tank.
Yep, time for a bunch of horizontal tanks at this rate then.
Imagine if that thing was actually full of smoked salmon. It would stink.
In the Florida heat.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's the giant steel tank loaded full of smokes. It would just
All I'm gonna
the
say
seagulls.
is
Imagine the swarm of seagulls around it.
all I'm gonna say is at times, so Secretary, we do flights up to Alaska, and of course you can go fishing for salmon in Alaska and all that fun stuff. Get it dry ice packed, and then fly back with it. Well, once let's just say it came loose and blocked the cargo door, and they couldn't get the cargo door open, so the fish just sat in the forward cargo. I'll leave the rest to your imagination on that one.
Everyone's luggage must have smelled amazing.
Yeah, it's not great.
But yeah, no, I've driven by it with the window down. I can say with certainty there was no stench. Yes, Vincent Roy, when they did surgery, apparently they removed my funny bone too.
I was talking that entire time while muted, which explains why nobody was responding to me.
I was like, Jack's quiet.
That's rare.
Yeah, it is. Jamie in chat says, can I please have a shout out? No, it may be too late and stuff, but can I? Nah. Actually, yeah, shout out to Jamie in chat. What's up, Jamie? I don't know what else you want, but hi. Welcome. They spin primed the booster.
They spin primed the booster?
Sorry, they spinny primed the booster. No? No reaction?
Sure.
They didn't catch a booster? They spin primed the booster?
Let's see. More questions. Keep the questions coming, y'all. Martin says, imagine a fish sauce factory abandoned for 7 years. That's East Canada. Six String Simpleton wants to know what testing is left for the Flight 7 vehicles. Booster needs a static fire. Ship needs a static fire. Stack needs a mini wet dress, probably. Right, Ryan?
That's what I expect. But we'll see. It's SpaceX, so, whatever call they want to make, just grab an 8-ball and that'll help.
But yeah, potentially only a handful of tests left for the Flight 7 vehicles. You're welcome, Jamie. Steve Ailing is saying, so now all the members are called NASASpaceflighties? No.
No, they're still membies.
Yeah, they're still membies.
Membies.
And if you're in the pre-show or the post-show for the Flame Trench, you're Trenchies. So you can be a Trenchy and a memby.
Oh, God.
You can. It's just a fact. We got membies in the Trenchies. I'm so sorry. I'll stop.
I like John's suggestion.
Where was that one? I don't see it. Muty?
Muty. That's what we need to do to you, Jack.
I need to go record Starbase Update. Do you want me to be muted?
No.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
Hey, can SpaceX detank this thing a little bit quicker? I'd like to go to bed. I gotta work tonight. SpaceX, hurry up. Please and thank you.
Where do you work? Like at an airport or something?
No, I don't, Jack. I don't work anywhere.
No, definitely don't work with airplanes.
Nope.
Some activity at the roadblock, mayhaps.
They're not gonna open it up now. They still got a lot of prop to detank.
Yeah. I'm just calling out what I see on screen, my guy.
Well, let's see what the cops end up saying to the guy in that truck.
Hey, are they launching that thing today? No, they ain't launching that thing today. Oh, dang it, I was trying to see a dang launch today. All right, well, you're going to have to move on out of here. You're parked in the middle of the road there. All right, you know when they're going to launch that thing, no? No, I don't know when they're going to launch that thing. They ain't telling me nothing. All right. They ain't launching today? No, they ain't launching today. You sure?
Wow.
We have reached this portion of the stream.
Our mic quality is really good out there. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I just installed some parabolic microphones. Damn, that dang old garbage truck stinks. You sure they ain't launching today? No, they ain't. Buddy, I told you, they ain't launching today.
Now, he was trying to go to the beach to go fishing.
Yeah, I don't see any fishing poles. That's actually probably SpaceX security, to be honest. Oh, Kevin got rid of the... I displeased him. Y'all got any bagels? No, and they ain't launching today. All right.
Phil with a great question. Who gave Jack a Red Bull?
I have had no caffeine or food. I woke up and immediately got on the stream, and this is what you get, so deal with it.
This is what you get to deal with.
I haven't even had any tea.
Brits shake their head in disappointment.
Carson Phillips, whoever that is, in chat says, the faster they detank, the faster we can mute Jack. Thanks, Carson.
Jack, you're a tea drinker?
Yeah, I love tea. I also love coffee. I'm not like exclusively one or the other. But I've been sick for the last week, hence the comments about feeling like a trash bag full of trash. And so I've been drinking English breakfast tea.
I won't say my answer to that on stream, but I understand now you're tea drinking. That's okay. I approve of that. But
yeah, sometimes
we weren't going to be bros.
Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you want a nice warm cup of tea because it's cold out and you want something warm, and you don't want cocoa and you don't want hot coffee. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you want iced coffee. Sometimes you want hot coffee. Sometimes you want a nice mocha. Sometimes you want tea.
And sometimes you want insert sponsored drink here because it's delicious.
Yeah, again, I woke up and got immediately on stream, did not eat or drink anything. So you're getting hungry and thirsty and insane Jack. I apologize.
Jack who has to go do stuff.
Wait, can we go back to the Roadblock cam real quick? It's important.
If any tea company wants to sponsor Jack, please send us an email.
Are you sure they ain't launching today? No, I ain't told you. They ain't launching today. I told you 20 times they ain't launching today. All right. I was hoping he would drive away, but yeah, no, we'll stop there. More questions, perhaps?
Mayhaps.
Space Nerd's asking when we'll see Ship 33 static fire. I mean, I assume in the next week or two. What do you think, Ryan?
Hopefully sometime mid-end next week. Really depends. It could be even the week after. I expect them to do a spin prime on 33 as well as a static fire. So,
because in terms of road closures for right now, we just have additional ones on the 9th and 10th, and that's another beach and road closure. So maybe booster static fire then. I could see 33 happening about a week after. So I wouldn't be surprised if mid to late next week we see spin prime then static fire 33.
I'm really looking forward to it. I cannot wait to see 33 fire its engines. Block 2 ship looks so good. It's gonna look awesome with with some fire coming out the rear end on the stand there at Massey's.
At first, seeing when 33's nose cone went to high bay to stack on its payload bay for the first time, it was kind of like, man, that looks so different, and it was kind of like, man, how's it going to look fully stacked? And it's like, we saw it fully stacked out at Massey's, and it looks good. Like, and we haven't seen the flaps fully deployed yet, though. We will see that at Massey's once. That
plus when they deploy the flaps on top of a booster. Those are the two critical aesthetic milestones remaining.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious how it will look on the static fire stand with flaps deployed ready for a static fire. It's going to be interesting. And then, as Jack was saying, on top of a booster. I can't wait to see it. And we're not that far off from seeing it, so.
Ihu is asking, why does the frost recede on one side of the booster faster? I think that's up to wind direction. It's not always the same, and you can see which way the wind is going, so it's kind of hitting that side of the booster. Part of it's kind of shielded by the tower. It's just a function of
stuff like
what side of the booster gets the most wind, I think.
kind of blows the frost off or whatever.
Right. Six String Simpleton says, what's the biggest bottleneck you see for Starship flights in 2025? Honestly, I'm starting to think it's going to be commodities. How can we get enough methane, oxygen, nitrogen, and helium to the tank farm to enable the number of launches that SpaceX is now authorized to do from Starbase? It's a lot of trucks. It's literally tens of thousands of tanker trucks.
To me, for just the year 2025, I think it's boosters is the bottleneck. It's going to be.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's going to be building finishing off the Block 1 boosters and getting into Block 2 boosters, and having enough boosters plus ships to fly, and hopefully bring them back and then start reusing.
Even if they only reuse one or two Block 1 boosters, I feel like they're not going to have a booster problem this year or 2025.
I think that's the biggest, but overall, right now, over the course of the next 2 years, the biggest bottleneck is stacking vehicles and getting it off of Pad B there, the Pad B that they're building, and finding a way to transport them over to 39A to fly out of that. Although, with the amount of redesigns they're doing with 39A and everything, I don't expect 39A to be... Because I think the EIS is slated to end by October of 2025, but that's the projected date, not the actual date. So it can always slip, and they need that EIS done to fly out of the newly designed pad. So I think the only Block 2 boosters that are going to fly, if they end up flying next year, of course, we'll be out of Pad B here, and hopefully out of 39A, maybe barged over in spring of 26, summer of 26. Hoping earlier the better, because SpaceX needs at least both of those pads online, and they need at least something from Roberts Road for Starship online if they want to make that mid-2027 Artemis 3 deadline, which is going to be... It'll be tough for SpaceX to make that. They have a lot of milestones and work to hit before they can make that. So
it's going to be an exciting year, one way or the other. Stephen Lewis, thanks for becoming a Red Team member. And Chris Hell, thank you for the super chat there. Norwegian kroner, not North Korean dollars. That's a throwback. It's a 5-minute banana joke versus puns all the time. I don't get it.
Puns all the time. Easy choice.
All right, well, they're detanking the booster. I think with that, we're going to wrap things up here. I got to go record Starbase update. Ryan needs to sleep because he's eepy. Sawyer, what do you need to do?
Lay flat.
Sawyer needs to lay flat. And Kevin presumably has Kevin things to do because he's a very busy person. So, with that, I think we'll wrap things up. Looked like a good spin prime on the booster there. Sawyer, thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me on. It's always exciting to see the testing going on at Starbase, one step closer to the next flight.
Ryan, as well, thank you for joining us.
Pleasure as always, Jack. Yeah, I'm gonna get some sleep. And Jack, have fun recording SBU. So
I will.
And Sawyer, get better.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you to Jay for doing Jay things. Thank you to Kevin for operating the stream and doing Kevin things. Both of them basically just running in giant human-sized hamster wheels. Like, it's very steampunk. Picture like levers, a lot of pneumatic things. Everything's like basically brass. And like, steam turbine, kind of like clockwork mechanism sort of things. Thank you to them. It's a challenging job. They have to like grease all the cogs, but they're good at it. And it's me. Hi, I'm Jack. You can follow me on X if you want. Yeah. But we'll be back for more testing, hopefully on Monday, hopefully with a static fire of the booster. Stay tuned to NSF socials, however you get your socials, and you will be well informed ahead of time what is going on. But the next closure is Monday, and we will be out in force for that. So, thanks for watching. Make sure you catch up on this week's twist, catch up on this week's flame trench, do all the things, go buy merch, give us the money. I don't... you guys are the best. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Jeez.
And here we go. We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Probably not. Roger, Atlantic.
Water towers fly! Yes! Tango down to nominal.
Fighting downside SC off. Bring in SC off. It's orange! Orange 25! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
Look at this! Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go. Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
If the methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You read? We don't need any more of these.